What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge Live as we count down to Sunday Night Football. Washington and Dallas from the Lone Star State, and what an incredible day we had at the Brand. First and foremost, shout out to Big Ben and the 2-minute offense for the Steelers. A solid 7-minute drive down 33 in the fourth quarter. Way to go, Big Ben. Solid. Now, I cannot even sit here and tell you what an incredible day we have had without bringing in the stars of the show. It almost felt like in some of the games, we almost knew what was going to happen before it happened. We're going to chop it all up over the course of the next 45 minutes to an hour, but let's bring in, by introduction, live from Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, the penthouse level, M Squared. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Coach. Yeah, it's been a great day, great week, great last 3 weeks for me, frankly. Missed one game, and that was the over in the Bucs game. They put up over 30 points, had the opportunities, did not get there, but that was the only blemish on the card, really, and it's been a great day.
You know, really quick, I was actually looking at a tweet that was directed at you from 2 or 3 weeks ago saying how much you suck. What is your run currently in the NFL, Mikey? I couldn't remember when I was responding to that tweet.
That would be 19-4.
Oh, okay, my bad. You're right. That sucks. Oh, my gosh. These people just shut up so quick when they realize the numbers. Now, also live from Nashville, Tennessee, 8 floors below. Dial up, AB. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Yeah, I agree with him squared, man. It's been a really good day. Would have been perfect if the Seahawks would have held on to a 10-point lead there at the end of the game. But other than that, Kirk Cousins came through for us with a pick. Joe Burrow, I think, just put up another 500 yards passing. Solid day.
I would have taken Seattle just winning by 3, to be honest with you. That would have allowed all of our teasers to come through.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just unbelievable collapse.
Oh, gosh. And Matt Nagy, you want to be a head coach today and go for 2 at the end today? Now, prop stars. I was looking over all my notes and all of your picks from Friday's prop show that I do with you, then the earlier show today, and I'm looking for a loss. And can you save me some time and tell me where your losses came today?
Unfortunately, no losses yet, Coach. We are riding high between Fridays. Yeah, no losses. We are undefeated on the week, Coach. Between Friday's stream and my weekly column, I'm a combined 8-0 today and yesterday.
I was actually looking for that one guy who said that you sucked 2 weeks ago too, and I can't. All of a sudden he's shut up too. It's just crazy everything that happens. All right, if you're brand new to the show, obviously we like to have a lot of fun because this is where you need to be. We're going to talk sides. We're going to talk totals. We're going to talk our bets from today that maybe could help you moving forward into the future. If you don't watch Early Edge Live today, it really, really costs you money. So let's get into it. Mikey's going to be a little busy with some DFS. We got a lot to talk about. So let's start, Alex, with you because you are the undefeated one. Today in that Bengals game, they score 41. And we said on Early Edge Live at noon Eastern today that the Ravens defense was terrible, their secondary was porous, and that Joe Burrow and those wide receivers would have a humongous day. And it was record-setting. Every one of our plays hits.
Yeah, and that might have been an understatement, Coach. That was just an absolutely incredible performance. We all talked about the Ravens secondary. Of their 11 defensive backs to start the season, only 2 of them were still healthy, and they were like 5th and 6th string defensive backs. So yeah, the Bengals absolutely took advantage of this Ravens secondary. Joe Burrow had one of the most flawless performances you will ever see. All their wide receivers went over. C.J. Uzomah went over as well. T. Higgins, a 200-yard performance. Jamar Chase, over 100 yards. Tyler Boyd got in the mix. It was just absolutely phenomenal. This Bengals team, when they decide to be pass-heavy, in my opinion, is as dangerous as in any offense in the NFL. Unfortunately, prior to this game, they had been running the ball on first down more than any other team in football. I am hoping this kind of spurs a philosophical shift in their offense. They need to air the ball out. They need to be a pass-first offense, in my opinion. We saw the results today, just absolutely outstanding.
When you have 3 dynamic wide receivers and you've got an athlete like Boyd, you throw the ball because you can't guard 3 guys like that. And to your point, Burrows hit every one of his overs, 37 of 46, 525, the 4th highest mark in the history of the NFL. It's a record set for the Cincinnati franchise. T. Higgins, we had his play over, 12 catches, 194, 2 scores. Jamar Chase, 7 catches, 125. Everything that we played today, we hit in this game. But, AB, let me come to you because you thought that Joe Burrows would have a huge day passing, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, he did. I mean, what we talked about on the show this morning is that he eats alive cover one, right? And you've got to be – I don't know what John Harbaugh's thinking here when you have 5 backups in your secondary. You're going to run cover one and get zero pressure on the quarterback? Like, that's a recipe for disaster. I don't know what you're doing. And the crazy thing is that Joe Burrow – remember back in week 7 against the Ravens, he had 400-something yards. Like, he's already done this once, and he carved him up even more, right? So I don't know what the Ravens were thinking in regards to their defensive set. It just goes to show that they're done. They have nobody. They have no other options. And Joe Burrow, like we said, if you don't get pressure on him and you're running man coverage, dude, he's going to toast you.
Yeah, the Ravens are the poster child for if you don't handle your COVID business, then you're not going to be in the playoffs this year. The reason they lost today, one of them, is their top 2 quarterbacks are down because of COVID injuries. These teams have got to start handling their business, or in January, they're sitting at home while the other teams that did are going to be playing in the playoffs. Now, another game that means a lot to the betting market today, but also in the standings, that, of course, is the Bills. They go on the road to Foxborough, and they win by 12. That defense could not get off the field on 3rd down today. Josh Allen, solid, 30 of 47, 314, 3 scores. He cashed all of his props. And then, Alex, you said today on our earlier set, you said, keep your eye on who from the Bills?
Isaiah McKenzie, the slot receiver, very explosive. He had a career day, went for, I believe it was close to double-digit catches, over 100 yards. 11 catches, came up with the most crucial plays for the Bills. 3rd down conversions over and over again. Absolutely impressive. In my opinion, I saw enough that even when if Cole Beasley returns, Isaiah McKenzie at the very least has earned a role in this offense. Very, very impressive stuff from him. Also, I do want to touch on Buffalo. For one of the first times, actually at least recently, they have become a more balanced offense. I was impressed, even though the numbers with Devin Singletary don't necessarily jump off the page as far as the pure rushing stats. Just committing to him, having him on the field. He made a lot of plays in the receiving game today. That was another prop I hit, was his rushing attempts. But I was just impressed with the Bills sort of going from this one-dimensional offense to a more balanced offense. It worked well for them today. I saw them picking up some of those short yards and those kind of short completions that they were passing on just to kind of attack down the field. They were so aggressive last season, and it worked for them. Then we saw defenses adjust with the cover or with the 2 deep safeties, and as a result, you saw Buffalo really struggling early in the season to adapt to that. But recently, they've kind of put an emphasis on the short area completion games, on the running game, and we're just seeing a lot more positive things from Buffalo's offense. So I'm impressed where they're at right now and how they're playing. To me, they're peaking, and it's obviously a good time to do that.
I'm impressed with how you were able to pull a Jay Smooth during your analysis right there. A classic Jay Smooth. Oh, this team did this. Oh, by the way, I hit that prop. And then they kept doing that. It's classic Jay Smooth. That's awesome, Alex.
Shout out Jay Smooth.
Another game today that had a lot of effects on our teasers, on the games we played. AB, let me come to you. The Rams, they beat Minnesota in Minnesota. Now, the good thing for us is we had the Vikings +9 in a teaser. Thank God for that late field goal when it was a 10-point game. But the Rams, they clinch a playoff spot. They're looking great because the Cardinals stink. And we talked earlier today. Alex said it. You can't play the under in Cooper Kupp, but it's almost impossible to play the over. But if you did today, 10 catches, $110, you would have hit both. It's amazing.
He's unbelievable, right? Like, and just being here in Nashville, we'll use – kind of the perfect example. The last 2 years, it seems like every single game, like somebody like Derrick Henry, his rushing yards over and under would be like 105, right? And you're looking at it like, dear God, like you can't play this over week after week after week. Nope, you can. And Cooper Kupp's the exact same way, man. Like, this dude is just unbelievable. His route running is incredible. And even when Matthew Stafford is not having that good of a year and doesn't look that great, but Cooper Kupp, like, when he's out there, like he'll make him look perfect, man. So credit to him. Credit to the Rams. It was a good win. Again, I have questions about their offense. I don't know where it's going, but their defense is solid, man. Like, they're playing really good football right now. But yeah, shout out to Cooper Kupp. That was just another stud performance.
Yeah, but Stafford scares me. He threw a lot of bad passes today. Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, I just want to tip my hat to Sony Michel. Mikey prior to this game was talking a lot about the running back situation, and he was really interested to see how things would shake out. I was in the same boat, seeing a split between, or thinking there was going to be some sort of a split between Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel. Obviously, Sony Michel had a phenomenal game. He has outplayed Henderson wildly over the past 4 weeks. He has really been the engine. A lot of those same components I talked about with the Bills becoming a more balanced offense, we've seen that similarly happening with Los Angeles as well. They become a much more balanced offense as well. In my opinion, that attributes a lot of their success. The reason why they're on this winning streak is because of the fact that they're able to run the ball so effectively. It will be very interesting to see when Cam Akers returns, if Michel is going to be the lead back, because in my opinion, he has earned the right to be. Cam Akers is a phenomenal talent. I was very high on the guy coming into the season. I'm still high on his long-term outlook, but you can't deny Sony Michel is playing exceptional football right now, and he was the biggest reason why they won that game.
No, there's no question about it. 27 carries, 131 on the ground. Now, AB, let me come back to you. Because of that loss by the Vikings, it allowed the Eagles to slide into a playoff spot currently by really playing great in the second half. They scored 34, but when you look at the numbers, nobody hit any of their numbers. I mean, Jalen Hurts way below. His rushing number was 52. I think he had 7 yards. So this was a team effort for the Eagles.
Absolutely. And look, we talk about giving credit to teams that are doing good things. The Eagles aren't really playing that good of football, but look what they're doing week after week after week. They're collecting wins. And you're right. In terms of props, buddy, it's tough, man, because you just don't know what you're going to get. But what you are going to get are their points. They're putting up points in total amounts of games. So you have to give them credit there. It's not always pretty, and especially after a Week 12 performance against the Giants where they had 3 interceptions and a fumble, the game starts with the Eagles looking like they're going to do it again, and they calm down. Nick Sirianni says, look, fellas, take a deep breath. We're much better than this team. Keep playing our ball. They did, got the win. Man, credit to them.
Certainly did. Yeah, Alex, you got something?
Yeah, I just give a lot of credit to that Eagles defense as well. They were played lights out. They have been very good all season, kind of a bit of a underrated story as far as this Eagles turnaround is concerned. But yeah, just agree with everything AB was saying. It's interesting, like leading up to this week, it had been the Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders show. Goddard was barely involved. Miles Sanders exited early with a hand injury. So yeah, like the props weren't hitting, but these guys figure out ways to win. And yeah, it's impressive what's happening in Philadelphia. They seem to believe in each other, and yeah, they're also peaking at a good time.
They most certainly are. 8-7 as we head into tonight's game, and we're going to get to it right now. But one last question before we do, and Mikey, I'm going to come to you, and I know you're working, but I want to get your take on the fact that the Bucs today, you said, I expect a lot of points. I expect them to get back after it, and I expect Antonio Brown to have a lot of catches and have a lot of yards, and you told us why. And it's exactly what happened. How, not even how happy were you, but when I watch it, I have so much respect for how you dissect things. And then today you told us because of the incentives and because of everything that is in front of them and the fact they were missing so many players that's what would happen. And both went over today.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what we were expecting there. Look, Antonio Brown is elite. You can say what you want about him off of the field. I truly believe he's a top 10 receiver in the NFL. And that is maybe an outlandish statement, but in my opinion, the way I look at football games, the reason why I believe Cooper Kupp is the best receiver in the NFL. Similarly, Antonio Brown is the best receiver the Bucs have. He's better than Chris Godwin. He's better than Mike Evans. He is elite. And without them, they would have really, really, really struggled today in this spot. But he is so good, and he understands the game so well, playing with Tom Brady. I just absolutely love that connection there. And yeah, I think he's a huge piece of them going forward.
Okay, very good. And the game that we don't even need to talk about because it was an absolute butt whooping, but the Kansas City Chiefs won their 8th game in a row. Their defense looked amazing. Patrick Mahomes is playing better than he ever has, under control. This Chiefs team is going to be a hard out in the playoffs. They are locked in for the number 1 seed and a bye again this year. AB?
Yeah, I was going to say, on the live show before the slate of games started, we talked about it. Patrick Mahomes against cover 3. Do not do it. Do not play cover 3 against him. He will chew you apart, and that's exactly what he did. Shout out to everybody who played the team total over 28. They almost had that at halftime, right? Like this Chiefs team's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I played the first quarter. I played the first half. I played the game. I played all of it.
Nice.
Mikey, what do you got, pal?
Yeah, I just want to go back to the Eagles quickly. So I know a lot of viewers come and go and everything there, but about a month ago, we talked about the Eagles and how friendly their schedule was down the stretch and how they didn't have to travel at all. So the last time they got on a plane was when they played the Broncos game, right? So the Broncos game, that was on November 14th. They played at home 11-21 against the Saints, on the road at the Giants, basically a very short travel home game. On the road at the Jets, same story. At home, Washington football team. At home, Giants. Now they're going to play on the road against Washington football team. Same story. No plane travel, very short travel. Finish with the Cowboys there. They don't travel for 2 months, essentially 8 weeks in a row. And that is huge in the NFL. Huge spot for them down the stretch. But we talked about it about a month ago. It's been fun to see that they've been taking care of business in those spots.
I wonder if that's ever happened in the history of the NFL, where you play your last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games without getting on an airplane. I mean, I bet it's never happened.
Huge advantage in the world that we live in and everything today, this year with everything going on. Huge edge for them.
There is no question about it. All right, that is a great look at our fantastic day so far, but Sunday Night Football, we still have a lot more to get into. So, AB, what are the 2 numbers we're going with tonight officially at Caesars as we speak?
Yeah, so we have the Cowboys -9 is what we're sitting at right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 9.5. It's just moved to 9.5. It's going back and forth, 9.5. And we've got a total of 46.
Total is 46. All right. Mikey, let me start you here, and then you can look at some other props. Any take on the number or on the total?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and talk about the number first of all, because it is moving pretty rapidly too. I've got 10 at -110, so it's all the way up to +10 for Washington football team. I definitely start to lean there as I only make them 7.6 point underdogs in this game. So I have Dallas -7.6 in the Sims. Pretty decent lean on the over as well at 46. A little scary because we don't typically love overs in primetime like this. But at 46, I make my number all the way up to 47.9, essentially 48. And I lean on the Washington football team. So I will be building a donkey parlay here shortly, but we'll absolutely be teasing the Washington football team up with the points. I haven't made an official play, but it's very close to an official play on Washington +10.
Okay, very good. Let me know as soon as you decide to do that. By the way, you mentioned the donkey. And all of you responsible people in the chat know that unless we get to 500 likes, there will be no donkey. So we are just over 200. There is well over 600 people. We've got a big audience watching right now. I need every single one of you. Do us a solid. It really helps the show, the algorithm, and the growth. Just hit that like button for me one time. And if we get to 500, we'll give out the always fun donkey parlay of the night. Now, AB, let me come to you on the total, because this is a team that's getting their quarterback back, Taylor Heinicke, which is a big, big deal because he's been very confident and he's a gutsy quarterback. It doesn't always translate into points, but the lean here is to the over. Sell me on the over.
I can't. If Taylor Heinicke is playing, I'm going to sell you on the under, because when he's in, that's when they have these super long 16, 17, 18 play drives where they just chew clock and have no problem kicking a field goal at the end of it. Now, I'm not saying to play it either way. I don't have a strong lean either way. But with Taylor Heinicke in the game, it actually makes it slower. So, just be careful of that, because if he gets on with it and the Cowboys offense isn't moving like it really hasn't for a couple weeks now, you could find yourself in a bad spot with that over.
Okay, be very careful. I may or may not have already played it. Just full disclosure. As you're talking, I'm like, shut up.
Well, I'll say this. No, I'll say this. This game is absolutely going to be dependent on one thing, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's going to be the zone and the defense that Washington runs against the Cowboys, and specifically against Dak Prescott. If they're running man, they're running zone. Dak Prescott destroys zone defenses. And if they're in that early and that offense explodes for Dallas and they dictate the speed, your over is going to be great. But if they're out there and Dak Prescott is not moving the ball at all, they can't run it, that's when you get in trouble. So this whole entire game is dependent on what the Dallas Cowboys offense does.
All right. Very good. Let's get into our best bets for the night. Alex, let me come to you. What do you got in this game?
Yeah, so I've got a prop that I gave out on our Friday stream. I believe the number is still available if you'd like to take it as well, or if you haven't taken it yet. That is Dalton Schultz, Cowboys tight end, longest reception under 17.5 yards. Schultz has been held under this in 7 of 14 games this season. In games where CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup have all been active, he has not had an 18-yard reception. I've talked a lot about how Schultz is the odd man out of Dallas's offense when all their wide receivers are healthy. If you look at the target share and the target distribution in those games, it's very telling. He has been targeted 2 times, 5 times, 3 times, and 8 times. That is 4.2 targets per game. That is a drastic decrease in targets when those guys are all healthy. Also, Washington ranks 9th in DVOA to the tight end position. Played a few weeks ago. They held him to 1 catch for 4 yards on just 3 targets as well. Also, the fact that Dallas is nearly double-digit favorites could potentially bode well, limit how much Dak maybe throws the ball. So, yeah, I like this prop quite a bit. Dalton Schultz under 17.5 yards for the longest reception.
Real quick, chat question. Let's stay with Dallas. I'll come to you, Alex. CeeDee Lamb, longest reception, over 22.5 yards.
Yeah, so I love CD. CD's playing primarily out of the slot. When he's playing out of the slot, a lot of those routes he's running are closer to the line of the scrimmage. Previously, he was playing primarily on the outside, had a deeper A-dot. However, that is not the case when you've got Michael Gallup, you've got Amari Cooper in the lineup. What's also interesting with CD, despite him being just an absolutely just fantastic talent, he is a part-time player in this offense. Make no mistake about it. They are using Gallup and Amari Cooper as they're in 2 wide receiver sets. CD only plays about 60 to 70% of the snaps. So yeah, he's not on the field nearly as much as I would like, and I'm sure if you were playing his overs, you would like either. So yeah, until that changes, I love the guy. I've been backing him quite a few times this year. I can't play him comfortably just considering he's just a part-time player in the offense still.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some lingering effects to the head injury that he had a few weeks ago. Maybe they're trying to protect him a little bit as they move forward into the playoffs. Ben in the chat says, oh, prop stars cannot miss today. So I would encourage you to play that Dalton Schultz under, if you would, please. Now, AB, I know you're on a best bet from this game. What do you got?
Yep, I've got Amari Cooper, longest reception over 21.5 yards, pretty much for exactly what prop stars just described. Not to mention, if you've been paying attention in the media scrums this week for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott has said the same thing over and over. You know, like during the weekday nights when you really need to start getting to sleep early because you're just staying up, and then the next day at work, you're really tired. You're like, go to sleep, go to sleep. You try to tell yourself. That's what Dak Prescott's been saying about Amari Cooper, getting the ball to him all week, saying we have to get the ball to Amari Cooper. It has to go through Amari Cooper. We have to get the ball to Amari Cooper. So I'm going to play Amari Cooper. Oh, longest reception over 21.5 yards.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I love that prop. I love everything AB said. I also love his receiving yards. I want to read you, gentlemen, a quote that I heard this week. We're not converting a lot of the defense's turnovers into touchdowns. A lot of them are field goals, and I feel like I could be a huge part of that. So that's what frustrates me. I think I can do more in the red zone if I get some targets. I can do more on third down if I get the targets. To help the offense be what we need to be, I think I can definitely help change that. That is the most diplomatic call out I have ever heard from one of the most consummate professionals in NFL. That is Amari Cooper. When this man speaks, you listen. He is not a diva whatsoever. When he says something, you listen. This is going to be some squeaky wheel narrative tonight. He's going to get the targets. He's going to come up big. I love me some Amari Cooper. And yeah, let's roll with him.
I love when you get fired up, man. I love when you get fired up. Mikey, talk to me.
I love it too. I was busy finishing my final DFS entry in on DraftKings tonight, and the captain spot in that one is now Amari Cooper.
Boom, 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 boom. Mikey, let me come to you. Chat question. First half Cowboys -6.5 and or the under 23.
I would lean towards the under before I would lay the 6.5.
Okay. Any reason why?
Just because I have the game being more competitive than that, and it's a big number in the first half. So I like Washington in the game. So I don't not going to be laying points with Dallas.
All right, Alex, let me come back to you. Dalton Schultz, chat question. Under his reception yardage at 39.5. I don't have the juice.
Yeah, so I'd lean under on it for a lot of the reasons that I like the longest reception prop. However, he has been ultra efficient on limited targets. Naturally, you would say that he's due for some regression if that's the case, which is probably true. But yeah, he has done the most with his targets, which is why I singled out this prop versus fading his total receiving yards. Because, for instance, we had his under on a SportsLine prop. I stand by this play. I thought it was a great play when he had a season low in targets and he still went over. So yeah, he is making the most out of the targets. What I do know for sure, though, is the depth of target is going to be low. He's going to have to break some tackles, which he's not exactly the most explosive and athletic guy. So I think playing the reception or longest reception under is a more viable option than the receiving total, in my opinion.
All right, fantastic. I'm ready to hit Amari Cooper over 4.5 catches. Chat question. I'm coming back to you because you're on Amari today. Alex, would we play the catch total?
Yeah, I mean, I like everything Amari. I'm like all in on Amari. Like AB, I like the reception. I like the yards. I like the longest reception, like AB's on. So yeah, I like the receptions as well. However, we talk about this a lot. This guy is good enough where he can get it in one catch. Like he can get 53 yards in one catch, which is why I love AB's prop and why I like his yards. So if I were to rank them, I would rank his yards and his longest reception, and then the receptions would be like a notch below it. So I prefer to play those two other props before I would receptions.
AB.
Yeah, so another thing to remember, these two teams played just a couple weeks ago. The Cowboys were up by 21 or so at halftime. Washington came back and made that a game. So even if Dallas gets up in this game, the game script, they're still going to be aggressive on offense because of what they just saw the last time that they played. So I don't necessarily worry about game. I'm not saying that prop stars will say it. I'm just saying, just in your head, don't worry about game scripts too terribly much. If Dallas gets up, foot's on the gas. If Dallas is behind, foot's on the gas. Everything it means, even though they did just clinch the NFC East, they're still playing for seeding as well. So just remember that.
The seedings is incredibly important for Dallas. They've got to have home game, multiple home games. They would love to have all of that. But if there's going to be high volume on the passing game, then that means the rushing props could come down. So chat question on both of the Cowboys runners. Tony Pollard over 67.5. Ezekiel's number is 51.5. Would somebody like to take this? Go ahead, Alex.
I'll take it. So the Pollard number is his combined rushing and receiving. His rushing prop is in the 40s.
Okay, thank you.
I believe So I do like Pollard. His combined. If I were to pick a prop out of the running backs, it would probably be Pollard's combined rushing and receiving. I do think his receiving prop has some value as well. The past few weeks, he hasn't been quite involved as much as a pass catcher as he was early in the season. For like the first 8 to 10 games, he was getting 30 to 50 receiving yards per game, in addition to 3 to 5 targets. That also came, with Amari and Michael Gallup out of the lineup at times. So I would say I do think that the number is low enough where he can easily go over. I want to say his receiving prop is 16.5. I could be mistaken on that.
It's at 15.5 now.
15.5. So yeah, I do like his receiving line. He's very explosive. I do anticipate him getting 10 carries. If you look at all the advanced metrics, if you look at all this, like the nerd stuff that I really like to geek out on, he has outplayed Ezekiel Elliott by leaps and bounds. I think the eye test would also tell you that as well. This guy is just an absolutely dynamic running back. Good things happen when he is on the field. So yeah, I expect close to a 50-50 split. I'm not seeing it with Zeke. I don't know if it's dealing with the injuries, but yeah, he looks a little sapped of explosiveness that we are normally accustomed to with him. So I'm staying away from Zeke. And if there's anything I'm interested in, it's Tony Pollard, and I want to get some of that receiving action, whether it's just the receiving prop or it's the combination of rushing and receiving.
All right, very good. His rushing prop, and this is how good Prop Stars is. He even knew it in his head that it wasn't the right number, because the right number is over 45.5 at minus 119, and he didn't even look at his numbers. That's how good we are. Let's continue to pound that like button. We're going to do a few more props, but we are getting close. This is always the most fun hour for me because it goes so fast. So we're getting very close to the VJM. How are we on likes? Where are we at on likes, AB?
We need more.
We need more.
We always need more.
Yeah,
we always need more. But I'm telling you right now, we will not give out the donkey if we don't get to 500 likes. We've got to get to 500.
We need about Jake Rudolph in the chat says it. Yeah, we're shy about 70 likes. So if everybody right now, and you don't have to worry about it anymore, just get the job done. Smash it. Yeah, we'll be there.
That's obtainable as well. We can do that.
There's no question about it.
We've got the best.
Now, there is one name on the – we've been talking all Dallas. There's one very big name that catches passes for Washington that I'm very interested in. Mikey, let me come to you. McLaren, his catch total is over 4.5. His yardage total is 59.5, both around minus 110, 112.
I don't love it, especially with Ricky Seals-Jones active. I think they hit him a lot and try to. So how I would play Terry McLaurin if you wanted to play him would be on a longest reception number. For him to go over his total outside of just pure desperation garbage time, which is obviously in the cards in this game script. But for him to really get to that number, it's likely going to have a 25 to 30 yard reception to really comfortably go over that. So I personally would like to play McLaurin on the longest reception over if you're interested in playing his props.
All right, very good. Yes, Alex.
Cowboys give up the least production to opposing number one wide receivers in the NFL as well.
All right, very good. AB, somebody's taking a low-key shot at you. In the chat, they don't know how to pronounce that name. It says, can others weigh in on the side, please? I believe you're the only one that talked about it. No, you talked on the over. My bad. Apparently, our analysis wasn't enough for a couple in the chat on the side. Would anybody else like to talk about the side to make a couple people happy in the chat? No, we're not going to do that because we're not playing it until Mikey says we're going to play it. I just made that very, very clear. Did I not?
Hey, you did. You did.
I'll give you 10 seconds. You get 10 seconds. My sim number, minus 7.6 on the most recent run right now. That should tell you that there's a little value on the Washington side. I'm electing to use it in teasers as I don't feel comfortable with it, despite the computer saying that I should be playing Washington.
I don't either. Ricky Seals-Jones, Alex, over 24.5 receiving yards from the chat.
Yeah, I do like this prop. I do like Ricky Seals-Jones tonight, hint, hint. But yeah, I when he's on the field, he seems to be he's athletic, he's long, he makes contested catches. Heineke seems to favor the tight ends as well, whether it's him, Logan Thomas, John Bates even back there, really likes passing to tight ends. So yeah, I do like that number quite a bit. I actually hadn't seen it yet, so I'm even thinking about making it a play.
Very good. All right. By the way, that young man's name is Jeff. So, Jeff, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching, and glad we could answer that question for you. All right. We have no more props in the chat, and we never press it. We just go until they are done. So, we have two very important things left to do. It's been a full day. I think we've given you enough winners, but I think we'll give you a couple more in tonight's play. So, it's that time of the show. We hit 500 likes. Don't make me threaten you every time. Don't make me do that. I don't like doing it, but sometimes you have to. So, do you guys want to do the VJM first, or you want to do the donkey first?
VJM needs to happen first because I'm still sending the donkey over to AB. The donkey stopped for a drink on its trek over to the janitor's closet.
All right,
you can't lead a donkey to water.
That is very true. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with everybody but Mikey. Mikey, you finish the donkey, and for those of you that are brand new, because our audience is growing so fast, this is what we do on every single primetime game, because we believe not every single bet has to be a serious bet. We like to have a lot of fun, too. So this is the VJM. We call it the Van Jefferson Memorial. First touchdown of the game prop. Are you going to get in the club with us? Because right now, Alex is in the club. Mikey's in the club. AB, you're in the club, aren't you? Yep. Damn it. So I'm the only one on the show tonight that is not in the club. If you have a person you think will score the first touchdown of the game, put it into the chat. Let us know who you think is going to score. It has to be plus 1,000 or above. So, Alex, who are you going with tonight to get in on your own merits into the club, sir?
I wasn't, due to nepotism. I'd be the first person to admit that, Coach. I do want to get in on my own accord. Nothing would make me happier. On a day like today, too, where I've had a great day on props, imagine if I just hit a grand slam in the 9th inning and also get into the VJM. Nothing would make me happier. Jeff asked about Ricky Seals-Jones. I am going with Ricky Seals-Jones, plus 2,500 on MGM. Listen, for a lot of reasons I talked about why I like his prop, he's a very good pass-catching tight end, very athletic. Heineke really likes throwing the ball to tight ends as well. When he's been on the field this season and Logan Thomas hasn't, they've shown a lot of chemistry. He gets a big target share as well. Besides McLaurin, he seems to be the favorite target. A lot of attention is going to go towards stopping Terry McLaurin as well. I also mentioned Dallas stops opposing number 1 wide receivers better than any defense in football. So I think we'll see some advantageous matchups for Ricky Seals-Jones. Dallas also middle of the pack, bottom 10 actually in covering tight ends.
Of course they are. Of course they are. But I have a tight end, too. That's a little tease there. By the way, Eric in the chat, very nice note. Merry Christmas, the coach. Alex, Alan, and M-Squared. Just want to say how awesome it is you guys are doing a live show right before the game. Thanks for the content. So thank you very much, Eric, for that very nice note. It's always nice to hear a thank you every now and then. You guys are amazing. All right, AB, who are you going with tonight, big boy?
We're going to keep it simple. Going a little chalk here. Obviously, we know the rules. It has to be plus 1,000 or more. Going Tony Pollard plus 1,000, right? Like he just made the cut, and this guy can house it from anywhere on the field. He can also house it from the 5, 4, 3, if they're in the red zone as well. So he gives us the best options to do it. Yeah, going Tony Pollard here.
Okay. All right. So Tony Pollard and Ricky Seals-Jones so far. And then you've got the unmitigated confidence and swagger that is M-Squared. Who are you going with today, my friend?
Michael Gallup, plus 1,100 over on MGM, plus 1,000 on DraftKings. Very chalky, but I like it in this spot. There's a lot of chalk in this game for good reason. There's big weapons on both sides, but I do like Michael Gallup. I like him when he's in the lineup, frankly. It does impact some of the other players, but I do like his involvement in the red zone. So give me Michael Gallup. Dallas scores the first touchdown in the game.
Real quick, we actually didn't talk about any of his props. Just real quick, his catch prop is 4.5, and his yardage is 46.5. Real quick, Mikey, either one of those?
I think you could lean towards the over. I would lean towards the over, but I don't love it. Just there's so many mouths to feed, especially when you have the little nugget from Alex about the squeaky wheel with Amari Cooper. Even if it's only 2 additional targets forced Amari's way early in the game, when you got a team that's basically a double-digit favorite here, things get really dicey really quickly in terms of hitting overs on props if you're not getting them early.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Mikey. All right. So for me, I'm the only one here that's not in the club. And it means the world to me to get into the club. You may find it childish, not me. So tonight, I'm going to go with a name that Alex has talked a lot about on this show, Dalton Schultz. He's plus 1,200. All right. And I foresee a scenario where they drive it down, get it inside the 8, then a nice little out route to Dalton. We don't want anything outside of the 18-yard line. We score, I get into the club, then Dalton shows he goes and sits on the sidelines. And he doesn't do any more in the game after that. Nothing more. No more. So we can hit 2 in 1. All right. So those are our VJM picks. And thank you to all of you who put your picks into the chat and also leaving your Twitter handle. We certainly do appreciate that. All right. Is the VJM ready now?
The donkey, yes.
All right.
Just
hit is the donkey ready now? Yes.
Yeah, the donkey is ready.
All right, cool. Let's do the donkey, and you put all these together, Mikey, and we get what? Talk to me.
Plus 425 on the donkey tonight, 6 legs. We're going Cowboys minus 1.5. Take it up to minus 2.5 if you want. I like the 1.5 just a little bit better in these division games. Washington football team plus 19.5. The over 35.5 in the game. Amari Cooper over 39.5 receiving yards. Ricky Seals-Jones over 9.5 receiving yards, and CeeDee Lamb over 49.5 receiving yards.
All right, very good. Leave it up there for a minute or two, AB. Let everybody get those plays. If you are lucky enough to be at a sportsbook that you can play them, you know this is so much fun to keep track of throughout the entire game. All right, that's it for the donkey. Again, we don't press too much. We got to all the props tonight. So we're going to recap our best bets for the game tonight. Then we're going to get the hell out of here because that's what we do. So real quick, AB, what is your best bet tonight?
My best bet is Amari Cooper, longest completion over 21.5 yards.
All right, longest catch for him. All right, Alex, what is yours?
Mine is Dalton Schultz, longest reception under 17.5 yards.
I think this is the first time I've ever said that the recap is not glorious because that just looks very weak on behalf of us. Mikey, are you making Washington a play or are you going to lay off?
I'm laying off of it. I've got it in the donkey there. If I were to play it, or if you guys are not on sports books that don't allow you to play the donkey, the next best thing that I would personally play would be teasing Washington up to 16 or 16.5, depending on the 10 or 10.5 that you can get. And then take that total from 46 down to 40 and play the over on that. Do not go above 41 for any reason. Or 40.5, if depending on where your book is. 41 is a massively key number in the NFL. Do not tease above it.
Do not. By the way, shout out to Mike Barner. He said on Twitter today, I'm going to kill my NBA picks. He picked the Cavs, -8.5. What do you think the score is right now? Anybody?
-8.
No.
138-93. They're up 45 points.
I thought you were going to say
Barner.
they were down.
Oh, no. This is all good. Then he said the Spurs, Detroit has apparently like 8 players in COVID. The Spurs are laying 10. What do you think the score is in that game?
Spurs up 32.
They're up 29 in the second quarter.
Nice.
Mike Barner is just killing it right now. Absolutely. I mean, we got so many blowouts going on right now, and he has the Thunder winning at SportsLine, and they're up 8 in the second quarter. So our guy Mike Barner, who's on the show all the time, is destroying the NBA tonight. I encourage you to follow him and also become a SportsLine member. It's the best value in all sports betting. And what do I say, Alex? It's not
Close.
Thank you.
It
Mike.
is not close.
Prop stars on the 5-second delay button. Oh, yeah. It's not close. All right, that's going to do it for our show tonight. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned a lot. We say all the time, educate and entertain, and today, damn it, we did both. All right, there's only one thing left to do, and you all know what that is. Shout out to my daughter who gave me the shirt. I created a monster. She calls me Dad. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thanks for hanging with us this entire weekend. Don't forget, we're here every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We'll be back Monday morning, 10 a.m. live, and then Monday night, 7:15 Eastern, as we count down to Monday Night Football, the Saints and the Dolphins. All right, tell all your friends. If you want to have fun, you want to learn a little bit, make a little bit of money, there's only one show. We like to call it The Early Edge. Good luck.